Yes, everybody, welcome back to the United View YouTube channel. What the Devil, episode 54 today. I'm joined by Nick and Firms, but with a twist. We are live!
We are indeed.
Live from the United View studio, here talking about, you know, the Real Sociedad game, Ruben Amorim, who seems to be public enemy number one with some Man United fans at the moment. And, you know, about, mainly, about the not taking the academy players.
Yeah.
But remember, because we are live, I want to see everybody, you know, issue their thoughts and comments in the live section. Let us know everything about what you think about us, how wrong we all are, because that's how this world works. You know, we're always incorrect.
I'm right.
Someone always disagrees, but let us know. I want to hear your thoughts. I want you to guys smash that like button. Remember to subscribe to United View. But we're going to get cracking with this weird decision from Ruben Amorim. 23 players he can select in his matchday squad, but he picked 18. There's 5, so that's mean there's going to be another time where there's 7 players on the bench. 2 of them are youth goalkeepers. Yeah. Right? And we don't even have Chido Obi Martin on the bench this time because he's not registered. Yeah. It's weird. He talks about it a lot, right? He says that he wants to protect the kids. He wants to, you know, for me, it's too big of a step for some of them. There is Harry Amas on the bench, which I think is very cool. Yeah. It's nice to see out of all the, you know, Harry Amas is now getting a chance because Chido's had his chance. We had seen a couple of things here, but Harry Amas is one player we've talked about for ages. Yeah. But I still think it's a bit of a weird decision to make because why not at least, I get it's a big step, blah, 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 but why not at least like bring them along? It's because it's a fun experience. You know, I feel like it would like, if I was a young player, 17, 18, 19 years old, and I was taken by the captain, even if I'm in the under 18s, under 21s for the rest of the season, it helps me buy in to the manager a bit, if that makes sense.
The hunger increases. You're looking at it thinking, I want to be doing what they're doing on the pitch. If you expose them to it soon enough, they can see it. Look, it's amazing. Look, for me, I think it was a cock-up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one because, like, look, ultimately, we're not privy to a lot of the information that Amorim is. He'll see what they're like day in, day out. He'll talk to Fletcher and Jason Wilcox, who obviously they all know more about the academy. So there will be communication there and there'll be reasons as to why they've decided to not include some of them. But like, it is weird because when you think about some of the names that aren't in there, Morehouse and Fletcher and some others, well, they were in the Tottenham squad. They were on the bench for that game. So they've already been exposed to that environment. All right, they didn't come on. And maybe Amorim never planned to ever bring them on unless there was an urgent injury crisis in that game, which meant they had to come on. So they've, like I said, they've been in that environment. And like you said, it's an away game. It's Europe. It's Spain. Real Sociedad, nice club. You know what I mean? Like you'd be absolutely buzzing to just be on that flight, be on in the hotel with the first team. So it is a bit of a weird decision. And ultimately, it means that, you know, we've got two keepers on the bench and 5 players. So if he wants to make 5 subs, there's no options. The 5 players that are on the bench, that's it. Those are the only 5 players that can physically come on.
That's
so
what it is for me.
Weird.
So we have Skiliano said, of all the problems at United, this is the smallest. Which, you know, you're right to a certain extent, right? This isn't a massive issue, but for me, it's more the options because we have 10 players who can't play. Yeah. Right, first team players plus like Chido. So it's 10 players plus Chido Obi, like first team players who can't play. As well? Well, 11. So Sekou Kone, also wasn't included. He wasn't included in the squad. That's
frustrating because I want to see that guy play.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well, especially throughout the FA Cup. But for me, it is also the urgency, the options thing. Like against Spurs, I feel like most United fans will agree. We wanted to see, like we're 1-0 down against Spurs. You've got 8 academy players on the bench. Like Chido obviously came on with seconds to go for his debut, but you wanted to see a couple, you know, give him a little bit because we're 1-0 down whatever anyway. Maybe Amorim sees this as, you know, it's only the first leg. The second leg's still to go at Old Trafford. So if we're 1-0 down or 2-1 down against Sociedad, we can take that back to Old Trafford and still try and get something. But it's like, it's the principle. For me, it's just it's the limiting of the options this evening. Yeah, I just find it a bit odd. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing or anything, because if he's got his reasoning, I think it's the best thing to do. He's a manager. I trust him. I want him to stay. Obviously, I for as much as I seeming to be saying that I disagree with his decisions, I do very much agree with Amorim. I like him. I want him to stay. But why would you not give yourself that option? Is just the thing that I'm like.
Exactly.
Why?
Look, you don't want to. It's the decision making for me. I think the due diligence needs to be carried out. We're playing more games in a year now, in the calendar year. we're seeing the injuries that's currently there in our team at the minute. It's across the whole Premier League. There's a lot of injuries going on. We've got our own issues. We've got a lot of guys out. For me, even if you feel like you don't want to start them or even bring them off the bench, just make sure you do your due diligence and cover yourself. Have the amount of guys on the bench. Put them there. Worst case scenario, if you have to turn to them, turn to them. Look, we didn't expect to be calling on Chido this soon. We find ourselves doing that. We didn't expect to see ourselves calling on Aiden this soon. We find ourselves doing it. Yeah. Like, this is due to factors that is out of maybe, I don't know, is it out of our control, in our control? I don't know. Like, injuries happen at the end of the day, but you're going to be calling on these guys, even if you don't want to. Casemiro was out of the scene. He's being brought back in for these very reasons. Like, we're playing a lot of games, guys are getting fatigued, guys are getting injured. You're going to need your youngers to be available. And I feel like us discounting them, regardless, I know that these decisions happen well in advance, and I know that the mind state of Amorim then may not necessarily be what the picture looks like now, but for me, you've got to be more forward thinking. Yeah. I think as a club, as an organisation like us, I think you've got to be more forward thinking when you're making your decisions. That's just my opinion.
I think it's especially weird for two other reasons as well. Is that, first of all, Man United, what we're all about, young players. You go all the way back to Matt Busby and sort of the Busby Babes after the tragic incident in Munich. A lot of the players that came through were young. You think about Sir Alex Ferguson and the class of '92. A lot of those young players coming through. And then even more recently, you can look at Scott McTominay under Jose Mourinho, Rashford under Louis van Gaal, even Greenwood, for example, who came under Ole. Yeah. So Elanga, another one. So we've always had a tradition of bringing through young players. So that, for me, from the club side of things, feels a little bit weird. Why not just expose them? Even if you don't want to bring them on, just expose them. Secondly, Amorim, he's got a track record of bringing through young players. If you think about Inacio at Sporting, they're all at Sporting. So Inacio, Nunes who's at Man City now, who's good at Wolves at Man City now. Nuno Mendes, who's wicked yesterday against Liverpool and doing really well for PSG. So he's also got a track record of bringing through young players. So those two elements combined, as well as the fact that you've just not got the numbers, it's just a bit weird.
So what he said in the presser was basically at the end, he said, I know that this is a big step for them and I'm trying to cope with everything. So when I do my squad, I'm trying to think in every aspect of a formation, our squad, and not what is going to look like really well with the fans and the media, which I do get. Like, as far as bringing kids in, as you said, like traditionally, United, generally, they've been brought into a fairly safe and secure environment. Generally, maybe not so much now in recent times. Like, for example, like when Rashford was breaking through, it's because we had no other option. When Louis van Gaal was playing all those kids, but it's never been as bad as right now. In the last, it has been like in terms of the last 30 odd years, right? So I do get it, and if Amorim feels genuinely at his best, that he doesn't expose them to this kind of stuff at the moment, fine. But we do have 10 players out. It's more of like it.
That's my
thing. The thing that I really do get it. I really do understand it. But
we're going to be at a point, I don't want us to be at a point where, like we saw in the FA Cup, guys are playing to the last. That's
the other thing. That's what Bruno Fernandes mentioned. He was one of the things Bruno Fernandes said after the Fulham game was he was like, to a certain extent, we just couldn't do it. He couldn't finish that game 120 minutes.
Exactly. Now, what's the point of having someone that's totally gassed out, totally tanked?
It's for a youngster, isn't it?
For a youngster.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. It's just a weird one. But like I said, it's not like a complete disaster. And it's not like something that I'm going to point to at Amorim and be like, oh, well, this is one reason why he's not going to be a success or why he's not right for us. It's not that deep, but it's just, again, it's just a bit of an odd one. Like, why not?
It's an unnecessary story to be having. Do you understand? If you're operating properly, you don't have these discussions. We shouldn't be having this discussion.
Yeah, and you've got to feel for Amorim in that sense.
I really feel for Amorim.
Because, mate, I mean, he was dealt a bad hand when he first came in. that hand has just continuously got worse and worse. I mean, like, his arguably, between him and Bruno, his best player, Ahmad or Bruno, Ahmad's gone for the season. Kobe, who was looking like he was coming into his own, out for several weeks. Agate's been in and out. Collier, who looked good at times, is now in and out. There are so many injuries. Luke Shaw is nowhere to be seen. Mason Mount, I can't remember. I mean, Man City was the last time he played for us. So the amount of problems that is mounting up for Amorim. I didn't. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I keep going. Like there are decisions that Amorim has made, and we spoke about this last week. There's a lot of decisions that Amorim has made that I don't get, but at the same time, I just think he has arguably got maybe the toughest job in football right now. I don't know. Maybe that is a stretch.
Honestly, no, I wouldn't. But like, in terms of managerial position, I wouldn't.
It might be the hardest job. It really is. Yeah. Like, our squad is just like this squad that is traveling to Real Sociedad might be the worst ever squad going to Europe for the last, again, 35 years.
United squad.
The United squad. We've got 3 attackers. What is it? 4 midfielders, and the rest are defenders and goalkeepers. It stinks. It stinks.
The bench is just always scary. Like,
there's nothing.
If our bench looked bad,
I hate injuries, man.
Look
we went through this last season. I thought, you know, we're finding out the woods.
I know.
And we got 8 players ruled out within 48 hours before that Spurs game.
For the first month and a half of Amorim being there, it looked good.
It looked good.
Like, everyone was available.
Rotating.
Mason Mount was coming back into it. Luke Shaw was apparently supposed to be coming. Luke Shaw did appear for Amorim like once or twice, right?
He made 3 appearances off the bench for half an hour. So he played 90. He's played about 90 minutes for Amorim.
Go on, the boy. Luke Shaw. Well done, lad. Him go, we're proud. You made 90 minutes. So it stinks. I mean, it ruined Ten Hag's second season, where you had like Lissandro out, Luke Shaw out.
The recruitment's bad. It's like I don't know why we somehow seem to attract players that are just injury prone. I don't know.
No, I don't think. I think.
Do you think it's injury prone, or is it how we manage
I think
them?
United, to a certain extent, don't do their due diligence, and also I think some of our injuries have genuinely been unlucky. Like Martinez getting his ACL off a 50-50 challenge. That's ridiculous. Ahmad cutting his ankle up in training. That is so, like, as you said, like, Ahmad's one of the most important players. I would put Leacher, especially this year so far before he got injured, Leacher, Bruno and Ahmad are probably the 3 most integral players to Amorim at the moment, because Leacher being the only first team left-footed centre-back.
And the best build-up centre-back.
And the best build-up centre-back. He'd got like, 2 goals and 2 assists in a month. Playing, like, coming forwards, bro. That's what I mean.
Touch my soul.
And then obviously Bruno like is completely indestructible. That guy's made of metal. And then Ahmad getting his ankle done in training. It's like everything that can go wrong for Amorim does, which is why I've said this before. Like, I am willing to give him slack, a lot of slack, because he's so against the odds. And just to round up the point about the kids, if he feels this is the best solution, I trust that it is the best idea. But it just annoys me a bit, if that makes sense. That's how I feel.
I do also think it would have come from the top as well, in terms of, like I said earlier, Fletcher, Wilcox. I think they'll definitely have a hand in that as well. One thing I will give Amorim a little bit of credit for was I was watching the press conference yesterday, and I mean, the pressure has been piling up for a long time. In that press conference, it felt like he was getting pelters in terms of, you've referred to Man United winning the league, but you not being there. Are you still confident? The 4 at the back thing, in terms of, are you going to continue? Like, there was so much going at him. And I feel like he dealt with most of it pretty well. Like, we know he's a good speaker, and that helps a lot. Because I think when you look back at a lot of Ten Hag's press conferences, like, there were moments where a lot of it was being thrown at him, and he just he couldn't handle it. He didn't know how to respond. So Amorim doing well in the press conferences. I know that's such a minor thing, really, but in long term,
takes the heat off as well.
And it just doesn't. I mean, sometimes he talks himself into trouble. And I said this last week. Him saying the whole Garnacho Rashford thing was not great. But I felt like he handled the press conference yesterday.
Or the team being the worst in history. That was another one.
That was another one.
So
he can't help himself sometimes. So.
Just reading some of the live chat, thank you guys for, those who have issued their thoughts on what we've been talking about. A lot of them are talking about, especially Red Baron and Skiliano, are both saying that the players, the kids, if United were to play them, would end up getting pelters, and therefore, so Amorim not playing them is potentially a good idea.
I disagree.
Because then
I think they'll get grace.
I don't like, because they're talking mainly about Cheeto, saying that when Cheeto came on, a couple of people criticising him. I didn't see that. If it was, it would have been Arsenal fans.
And if anyone's criticising them, they're idiots. He's a 17-year-old kid.
I thought he did well.
I saw.
So,
you know,
Yusuf had some thoughts, but but that's also just general. But like,
I mean, we're obviously gonna talk ball. We're gonna talk if a pass was misplaced. We're gonna talk about if a touch was bad. Like, this isn't things to say. I feel like as fans, we should be able to critique a game, critique right decision making, and we can also revert back and say he's young. Yeah. These things will improve. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? What I saw overall was someone come on and create opportunities, create chances, have like that Rasmus didn't get. But we then go on about, we need to create opportunities, we need to create this, the strikers are being starved. But then I see a guy come on and get opportunities to score. So for me, I was more worried. I don't even want to go into that topic because that's another topic in itself. But for me, big up Cheeto. You've done well. Amorim, keep playing the kid. We want to see that, so we can laugh at Arsenal.
I think Cheeto will continue playing as well. But in terms of what was said in the chats, in the comments, I generally think that, like, especially Man United fans, we don't.
I think
really
we back them.
Yeah, we back the kids, but also like if you're a teenager playing for Man United, not that you're void of criticism, but you kind of are. Like, not a lot. Like, nothing's going to be put on you. Nothing's going to be thrown at you. It's a free hit for the kids.
Yeah, I think the only people that criticise academy players are opposition fans.
And even then,
even then, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? And like, if they care enough to watch our academy kids and criticise them, then go for it. Like, I got time. Like.
It is getting more. I do understand the comment though. It is getting more and more toxic. Like, for example, like, even if they're not any youth that is leading online or playing in the starting 11 is going to be exposed to some level of criticism. Like, I see Rasmus. Like, his tokens are kind of diminished in that sense. Even though, to be honest, his first season wasn't that bad.
No, well,
do you know what I mean?
15 goals, all comps.
You know, 15, 6, in all competitions. Even in his Europa League exploits last season and this season is still decent. But it's like, something's obviously changed between last year and this year, where he's just not performing as good. But for me, now his tokens are starting to diminish. And I think probably he got about 12 months.
Do you reckon?
I reckon you got about 12 months.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one for Rasmus.
The daggers come out.
I think, obviously, Europe, he's done really well. And like, he's not Champions League last season and Europa League this season. I think with Rasmus, he's unlucky because ultimately the service into him is crap. And and I said this last week, but we're simply not playing in the way that suits him. He needs space in behind, he needs direct balls, he needs to run into channels. And all of this slow build up, come short, link the play, that's not Højlund's game. So I do feel for Højlund a little bit because I don't think he's an Amorim style striker at the moment, because I just think
he's also not, I think he's not playing with players who suit him as well. So like, when he wasn't scoring earlier on in this like 18-game barren run, there were still points where he was playing well. I think that's when he had Ahmad near him, etc. Like, he was still playing decent football. Yeah. Now that the players near him, like Eriksen supplied a few chances for him, if I remember correctly.
Always does.
Eriksen supplies chances for everyone. Yeah. But like, the other players he has near him now are basically Garnacho, who always looks to shoot pretty much, that's another topic that we're not going to delve into this week because I have many things to say about that. And then you've got Xerxe, who like does it. It's just those two don't. I don't think they
Xerxe,
quite fit.
Yeah,
he's more of a creator.
Thing is, Xerxe is an enabler, but he's not the assist guy. Like, he's not the final pass, but he's the link up to get Bruno in to play the pass, or to get Ahmad in to play the pass, etc., etc. One thing I will say, I know you said you didn't want to go into it, right? But the Garnacho thing, very quickly, right? Yeah. The last time that Garnacho and Højlund linked up for a goal was February last year against Luton, where Garnacho tried to shoot, and you remember when Højlund kind of chested it? Like, it didn't deflect off him, he meant it.
The one where,
the little chest. That was the last time Garnacho and Højlund linked up for a goal.
That's crazy.
That's grim. Over a calendar year, and it was an accident. So that is a big, big problem, because they play next to each other most weeks and they're not linking up.
Hence why the 10s and the fullback positions for me are the most important in Amorim's system.
Yeah, they are.
Big,
I do want to see Dorgu and Hoylands make something together, because Hoyland is going to play, but you can't just say Hoylands can't play for the rest of the season because he's already number 9 now. Apart from Cheetah. But I do think I want to see how that dynamic plays out, because obviously Dorgu played a couple of games where he was settling in and he started to look good, but then he got a red card and so he couldn't play last weekend. He'll play today. And we'll get on to the Sociedad game in a minute, but that is something I want to see. But I want to move on now to ask you two a question, as well as all of you guys watching. I have a question for you. So, Manchester United, we have our squad. There's a lot of opinions about, who's worth staying in the squad, who should be sold, who's a bench player, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to pose this question to you. If you had to keep only 5 players from this squad, not including academy players coming through, so we're including Kobe and Garnacho here. Yeah. If you were to keep 5 players, who would they be? Because I asked this on Twitter this morning, and there's a general consensus. Obviously, Ahmad is one of them. But I want to ask, you guys in general, and also you guys in the comments, please list below. If you had to keep 5 players, to build as part of a new era of Manchester United from this team, who are they?
Can I just quickly? What did someone reply to you on Twitter when you sent that out?
One person did reply saying that 5 was too many.
Well, you're giving us Mr. Impossible out here. Look, I'm struggling.
Yeah, it is hard. I think my list is kind of for the here and now and also for the future. So I would probably go, if I remember this correctly.
Before you start, we've spent over $1 billion.
And
we're having this conversation.
You got to put that to the back of your mind, bro. It's pure depression if that's at the forefront of your mind.
Bro.
I know. It's like when you think about the money we spent, how poorly we spent it. Yeah, it is bad. I would go. Bruno is going absolutely nowhere. He's our best player by far. I know he's getting on a bit, but he's still got a good amount of years, so he has to stay. He's the captain. Ahmad, of course. Then I'm going Yoro, because I just think his potential is crazy. I'm going De Ligt, because I think De Ligt is potentially our future captain. Sad day when Bruno goes, I think De Ligt could step up. And the last one, have I said it? It was Kobe Mainoo, if I haven't already said it. So Ahmad, Bruno, Yoro, De Ligt, and Kobe. Because Kobe's just a star. He's someone you can build a team around. That's my 5. I think it's a pretty solid 5.
That's a solid 5. Firms, what are you saying? What's your 5?
You kind of scrambled my brain a little bit.
Have I?
Look, because I'm thinking of the now.
Yeah.
The now under Amorim, I'm thinking about fullbacks. So Dorgu's my number 1.
I hear it.
It's just the most important. Well. He's young, he's versatile. Can play left, can play right. A bit of a Delo vibe, but he's aggressive. He's quick. He's strong. He can attack. He can defend.
Athlete as well.
He's an athlete, right? And he's a good value for money. I think we can get some resale value. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, I keep him.
First,
second, Bruno Fernandes. He split the fan base crazy, isn't he?
But actually, I can't fathom people that are on the other side.
Yeah.
I can get it to an extent, but they go hard on Bruno sometimes, man. Come on.
I think 95% of Man United fans like Bruno.
Yeah,
love Bruno.
I think so.
You think so?
I really think so.
But the ones that don't are loud.
It's such a loud minority. I think it's such a loud minority.
Yeah.
Imagine, right, Bruno Fernandes, if he gets sold this summer, right, let's say Barca bid 65 million and Bruno goes. Maybe 65 million. But okay, let's say a decent amount of money, right? Let's say his actual value for money. He goes, right, let's say it's final weeks of the window, and Old Trafford, bro, would be fucking livid.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%. Livid.
Yeah,
I think
true.
most Manchester United fans are so behind Bruno Fernandes. 100%. I really do.
All right, so Dorgu, Bruno.
Yoro, like you said.
Yeah.
I think Yoro is a gem.
Yeah.
I think he's got all the attributes. He's got the height. He's got the speed. He's got the awareness.
Starting to find his feet now a little bit. I feel like he started a bit shaky, but he's starting to come good.
I see his little.
Yeah. Little Cruyff
you know
in the
what
box.
I thought, okay. That's one for the archives. I thought, okay, cool. You're getting there. So yeah, I think Yoro's a good signing, man. If he's got the right people around him, he'll be a solid guy.
Yeah.
So yep.
Cool.
Mainly, like you said, because I feel like he's got crazy talent. A bit of biasness coming from the academy as well, but I see Kobe Mainoo, if we let him go, being in another team, just
100%.
excelling.
He'll become the best midfielder in the world.
Do you know what I mean? He's someone that will, play for your bosses. He'll play for your, and look really good. He's one of those guys who will be like, oh, I wish we had him.
He was in the Euro final and he never once looked out of place.
It would be the same story as when United let Pogba go.
Yeah,
he
kicks Trent out of the team. Like,
yeah,
I know Trent's not a natural midfielder, but he kicks Trent out of the team and never looked out of place.
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
100%. And who's your last one then?
Oh, Nana.
Oh, no. Could never be.
Oh, Nana. Oh, my God.
You couldn't even hold that joke.
No,
when is he going to make a save? Please. When is he going to dive for it?
Every time the ball goes near him, a cross goes in, or I'm nervous. Like, anything that goes near Nana right now is nerve-wracking. Yeah, it's long.
So who did I say? I said.
So you said Yoro, Kobe, Bruno, and Dogu. So
It's got to be Ahmed.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's got to be Ahmed.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was toying with Xerxe.
Xerxe?
I honestly, I wouldn't put Xerxe in my 5.
Yeah.
But I can't put my finger on it. But there is something there.
Yes.
No,
Something about
I like
Xerxe
him.
can make it at this club, right? Not as a number 9. I don't think he's a number 9.
Yeah.
But there's when he is a little bit deeper, like you said, he's someone who facilitates the rest of the game. He's the guy who wins the ball to give it to Bruno to play the final pass kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there is a player in that. I
just
he's
think
fun
we've
to
been
watch
so
as well.
technically deprived, and I feel like he's
like
just
a really
oozing
techie
with
Fellaini.
technicality. Yeah, and it's like when I wanted a striker at Man United, I wanted obviously someone that has these abilities but can also score goals.
Yeah.
So obviously I really wanted Kane, even though the age thing was an issue and the money was an issue, and we wasn't gonna get, Levy was never gonna do that. So, but I looked at him and thought Kane, and I thought he's got the qualities to improve the overall squad, link up man, drop deep, facilitate, the forwards, the wide men getting forward and also getting the end of a cross or whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't see many forwards like that. And then I'm looking at Martial and what he did for us, and I thought I liked the way he made us play when he was fit. And I'm looking at Xerxe and I'm like, I can see similar attributes in terms of how he can drop deep, link up play, the ball sticks.
Yeah.
But we just need more goals.
I think he just needs time. I really do.
just feel-
So Xerxe just needs a little bit more time,
He's
a little bit more
He's
love.
Firmino to me.
All right. But let me just pose this question on that. I agree with everything you guys are saying. I like the player a lot, but is there a natural place for him in Amorim's system? Because I don't really think there is.
I think it's hard to say that for apart from players who are nailed on but perfect for the system. Let's say Ahmad, who's perfect as an inside forward, Martinez, who's perfect as a left centre back. I think most of these players, it's hard to kind of say yes or no yet because we haven't seen them
I think there is.
grow.
I think
there can
there
be.
is.
There can be, but it involves him improving in certain aspects and also Amorim giving him a bit of time to improve. I don't know, man.
Because you know what it is for me? I just think Amorim likes his 210s to be mobile. Xerxe's not mobile enough. He's not dynamic enough. I like him a lot. I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. I like the player, but he's not a natural fit striker. He's not a natural fit 10.
But I think there's a place for him in the squad.
There's a place for him in the squad.
That's what I mean.
But in terms of,
I don't think he's going to be starting for a title-winning team.
No, there's a place for him in the squad. I agree with that, but he's not a starter for Amorim in the long term. If we're good, he's not a starter in my opinion.
think you get 2 solid, quick, fast number 10s that have got an eye for goal.
Playing with
Xerxe, he's Firmino for them. He's
hear
the glue for them.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can see
Right,
that.
so looking down at the comments, obviously some people have been giving their 5. We've got, actually, first of all, Joe Blackman said, smash the like button. We are currently on 62 likes.
Come on.
I want to see that getting up. Get that number up, please.
Come on.
Let's get to 150.
So a couple of them, Joe Blackman said this. Who else said this? Red Baron has said it as well. Player I think you guys haven't really mentioned is Lisandro Martinez as a top 5.
I have a reason.
You got a reason why Martinez wouldn't be in your top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in my top 5, I've already got De Ligt and Lisandro, so I've already got 2 defenders in there.
Yeah.
I think...
You mean Euro?
What did I say?
You
Sorry.
said you got De
Apologies.
Ligt in Euro.
Yeah, sorry. De Ligt and Euro. I've got De Ligt and Euro in my team already. I just think the injuries are going to be too much of a problem. I love Lisandro, but I think he's a very good player in build-up. I don't love him as much when he's running back at his own goal. I don't think he's good at defending the channels.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he's better suited to a back 4 system and not a back 3 system.
Yeah.
But the injuries... And I know we said they're freakish injuries, so hopefully they're not reoccurring, but I just think they're 2 seasons in a row now where it's been a major injury.
Yeah.
for that reason.
I didn't include him because as much as I think he's a fantastic player and I do love him, he is replaceable, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's amazing the reason why he's so essential for us at the moment is because he's one of the few players who's good in build-up, left-footed, left centre-back, who's
aggressive in the
smart
tackle
and
as well.
aggressive and kind of installs a kind of standard at the club. But a lot of that is he's not the only left-footed ball-playing centre-back in world football, man. And you can buy someone who can have maybe not as technically brilliant as him, but still sufficient enough to play an Amorim system.
Aiden
who is
Heaven is
He looked gorgeous. He looked really.
He looked good, yeah.
Aiden Heaven looked really good.
But like, kind of, there are some things to Martinez which, like, maybe you won't be able to find a player who's as good at him, excels in as much with the ball at his feet, kind of thing. But someone who maybe a little worse off than that, but will offer kind of better defensive support, isn't 5'9", and because at the end of the day, that is a deficiency of Martinez.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't think any of us are saying get rid of him. Or
No.
I just think he's not in the top 5.
I wouldn't. He's not
want
a
him,
replaceable player for me at all.
And I really want us to be able to play a system where we're playing a high line and we ain't got situations where we've got our centre-backs chasing back, just having no chance.
Exactly,
And
I
I
agree.
think
He's one of those.
why I pick Euro, because he's got that speed, he's got that height, he ticks most of the boxes, and I just don't, we're always having to sacrifice one attribute for another attribute when we're talking about a lot of our players. It feels like with every player, it's like, oh, you're good at that, but you're really bad at that, and I just want us to, that's my decision making.
Even De Ligt's running back at his own goal. I feel like he's got a lot more pace. Than
Yeah,
Bruno.
he is.
He does, yeah.
I don't see many times him getting skint
I
like
like
that.
him,
I've
and
seen
I do
Maguire a
really
few
like
times
him.
getting left.
Wait, who is your top 5?
Yeah,
So my top,
yeah,
you're not asking, I do have my top 5. I do have my top 5.
Yeah, let's go.
So I've got Ahmad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Yes.
as always,
Yeah.
I have put Dorgu in there because I was thinking. I'm thinking about my assumption is like players who, let's say, my assumption is Amorim staying with Rula, who are
was me
5
as
players
well.
I want to see stay at the club. Got Dorgu also because I really like him.
Yeah,
he is an athlete. We've spoken about this so many times. The lack of athletes in this squad is jarring.
terrible.
I'm bored of saying it.
Dorgu is so obviously an athlete. More like he's quick, fast, strong, smart, good. I've been surprised about how good he is defensively. He's had some good tackles, good defense, and he's like getting on that byline and he's putting crosses. And even if they're not finding their man, like I like him and I would want to keep him in the team. I've also got Bruno in there because Bruno Fernandes is the love of my life. I've got Euro in there because it's Euro, and then I've got Kobe in there as well because I feel like I feel like he's the one who's out of my list who's weirdly I'd say like least likely to make it, if that makes sense, because there's the least obvious role for him. You've still got to figure that out, but you can't get rid of someone like Kobe Mainoo.
Yeah,
It'd be outrageous. It'd be outrageous.
Did I miss one? Is it because I feel like
So
ours is
Ahmad,
matching?
Dorgu, Bruno, Yoro, and Kobe.
Yeah, you guys are the same 5.
got the same
only
5.
difference is I've gone De Ligt
You gone De
instead
Ligt.
of Dorgu.
I like De Ligt.
love De Ligt.
I'd be
I
happy
think
with
De
that.
Ligt,
yeah.
I
And
think
also, like,
he's
even
been
the
shafted
press
recently.
Yeah, and even like him joining the press conference yesterday, I thought he dealt with the questions really well. Interview, and I know I keep going back to this stuff, and it shouldn't be important, right? It should just be what you do on the pitch, but this kind of stuff is important, and that's why I genuinely think the sad day when Bruno either leaves Man United or retires, De Ligt could be someone we look to as a captain. So that's also
I agree. I think
Yeah.
De Ligt's got that. I think I said the same thing last week. I'm going to say the same thing again now. He's got like intangibles which make him a player that I like at United a lot.
Yeah, agreed.
But I want to move on now to, we're playing this evening, the Europa League. It's weird recording on the day and filming on the day that we're actually playing. Normally we do it the day before, the
5:45
day
is also,
after.
it's literally 4 hours after we end this.
It's not long. But so we're playing in the Europa League and we've just played 120 minutes and lost on pens against Fulham
rough,
about
isn't
4 days ago.
Yeah.
I think, and this is why this is in the thumbnail for this video, is I think Xerxe won't start because I think Garnacho is going to start because he didn't start on the because Garnacho played 43 minutes before being taken off before. He didn't start the game before that, and then in this game he came off the bench.
He's the freshest.
So he's the freshest, right? And also he scored against Sociedad 2 years ago. But
Ronaldo, and then he pulled that
it's
one
what
out
it is,
the bag.
I know. But I think Garnacho starts on the left. I think Eriksen's going to stay in the team.
I agree.
On the right-hand side. And I think because Xerxe played 120 minutes and generally isn't as effective up front as he is in that right-sided 10 role, I think Højlund's going to start. Because Højlund played 54 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. I think he's going to start. And also, I think we can't ignore Højlund's European record. Whether you can say it's a fluke or whatever, or it just happens to be in this competition, I think he suits. playing in Europe quite well, because he did play in Europe, and like he's playing in Italy and everything, and he's played in Denmark and Austria, I think, was the other place he played, but or something like that. But I think Xerxe is going to get dropped. Well, okay, rested is probably a better word. I think Højlund will start. I think Bruno's going to play deeper alongside Casemiro. I hope Casemiro starts. Do you think I'd ever be saying this?
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I hope Casemiro, because Ugarte's not there, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If it's not Casemiro, it's Collier.
It's Collier. No, that's true. But like Casemiro, it's against a Spanish team.
Yeah, he's well
suited.
I
think you need Casemiro in there.
I agree. Yeah.
That's fair points, to be honest. I think your what you said, I agree with. I don't want it to be like that though. I want a slight tweak. I want Xerxe to start.
First.
Over Eriksen?
Over Garnacho.
Over Garnacho.
First.
Yeah, because everything we've seen is Garnacho off the bench makes a difference. Him starting,
But the thing is I'm also looking forward to the Arsenal game on Sunday, right? I really want Xerxe to start against Arsenal, because I think he's a good attacker for us and he'll do well for us, especially against. If they got Saliba and Gabriel, and we've just got Højlund who's doing his little wrestling matches,
bro.
If we've then got Xerxe as well, that's an extra presence, right?
But
in
also,
the attacking
our
line.
season ends here.
But we're still playing Arsenal, and we still want to win that game.
Trust me more than anyone. I'm from the era boys. Arsenal, Man United. I know and Liverpool obviously, but
no, I get you.
Do you know what I mean? I need us
real.
to get the W against Arsenal.
Yeah. Listen, Chido Obi, 88. I've called it from earlier on. 88th minute winner against Arsenal. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
If we don't get through, we're in a state where in the first leg it could be over for us.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And
Yeah, I mean, look, it's an interesting time because Real Sociedad are not the same Real Sociedad they've been in seasons gone by. They're currently 9th in La Liga. They've fallen off. They've gotten rid of a few of their really good strikers and haven't really replaced them. So they're enduring a difficult season. Dylan made the good point earlier that their manager has been there for a long time. He's been there since 2018. So there's the chemistry between him and the team is obviously there, and he knows the players really well. I expect Real Sociedad to be your typical Spanish kind of side. They're going to overload the midfield. You're going to get the striker, Orzabal, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Orzabal. He's going to drop down. He's going to drop in and get an extra body in the midfield. So they're going to be your very typical Spanish side. I do wonder if Amorim goes into this game quite pragmatic and just think it's more of a must not lose rather than a must win.
I honestly, it's an away tie against a Spanish team. Where obviously historically United have never done well when playing in Spain. Without Marcus Rashford, because in the last couple of years he scored He scored against Barcelona and scored the free kick against
Betis. No,
was it Betis?
He scored a banger against Betis.
He did score a banger against Betis as well. But like I know that's the Marcus Rashford thing is just a thing on the side. I hope he goes into the game. It's an away European time. That's how you should be approaching, especially if you're not the clear favourite. We are by no means. I think maybe being a little underestimated because it's Man United. They're crap. They lose every week. But we're nowhere near the clear favourite. That Sociedad are going to look to pounce. So they've lost their last two against Madrid and Barcelona. They're going to be looking at this tie going like we can beat a big English team here after obviously losing to two big Spanish teams. So I hope he does. Maybe if we're playing that back three and we've complained about the two fullbacks sitting back a bit, maybe that's a good idea this time.
I don't think it's got us anywhere being conservative, and nor do we have an advantage.
European tie.
Nor do we have an advantage playing at home.
I think
it's a European night though. We've not lost in Europe so far.
I think there's a bit of both. So I think he'll be pragmatic in general. Like for example, I expect Casemiro to sit in quite a lot. One thing to go back to kind of your point a little bit, which is that I want to be pragmatic and I want to sit in, but I would love if, for example, Dorgu kind of just lingers a little bit. If we can shift the back. So if the back five shifts across and he can kind of push on a little bit and just linger in that left wing spot just so there's a constant outlet because there's no pace in this team. Garnacho, if he starts, there is. But if we can get Dorgu as a nice outlet to get out and counter-attack at times, that would be
You know what I wouldn't mind seeing in that case, if we're going to do something like that, is then seeing Garnacho play on the right rather than the left. Because if you're starting Garnacho, rather than having both the fast players that side, then Eriksen and Dallo on the other side, Like, because Eriksen played on the left
Yeah.
against Fulham, right, and he faded as the game went on, but he started well, he had the ball, he was looking to be creative. If you then got Garnacho on the right-hand side, and then Dorgo on the left-hand side, and then kind of Eriksen in between the two of them with Bruno a little bit deeper, that might be the best way to set up. If you want those outlets to then start running.
And if we do
kind of
play
hanging around.
counter-attack, then having guys like Casemiro who can find a long-range pass, Bruno Fernandes, who really linked up well with Dorgo, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then having someone like Garnacho where you can feed. And this is why I want Xerxe, because I don't want everything relying on Bruno Fernandes.
If you're playing Eriksen and Bruno, and then Rasmus Højlund is the fastest player in our squad.
And Casemiro can play as well.
Casemiro can play a ball anyway.
He's tidy.
That's the one thing he's not lost. Casemiro can ping a ball anywhere.
It's true.
And also,
Yes,
it was always an underrated trait of his, because he was at Madrid and he was next to Kroos and Modric.
Yeah.
Everyone just kind of overlooked his passing ability, but he's got a bit about him on the ball. We've seen it obviously in the
He's
past.
forward thinking as well. I like that. Obviously, he has a bit of a slide tackle disaster.
Next summer is his last year of his 5-year contract, isn't it? Right?
That's bonkers.
He's in his 3rd season.
So
No?
Oh, so
He's still got 2 years left.
no. So not this summer coming is not. Wait. So what? Next 2026 is his last year.
Yeah,
He came in 2021.
he came under Eric, right?
2022. We signed him the same summer we signed Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
After this summer, he's got 2 years left.
It's a long contract. He's with us, and he came out saying he's not going anywhere. I'm not leaving.
Thing is,
Literally did as well, didn't he? Yeah. I'm not leaving.
So but
yeah, we'll see.
it's gonna be an
What about-
interesting night.
Score predictions. What are we saying?
I'm gonna go for a thrilling, entertaining 1-1.
That was actually.
I'll take the result. I'll take a 1-1 all day long.
I'll take a 1-1 away from home.
I did say 1-1, but I'm struggling to see where our goal comes from.
Bruno free
set
kick,
piece.
set piece, some Bruno. That's it. I'm not confident. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not confident, but I just hope that Amorim will go into it pragmatic and we come out with a 1-1.
Also, if you're in the comments, get your score predictions in as well. Let us know what you think.
Let us know.
Yeah.
But what is your score prediction then?
1-1.
1-1
as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
1-1. You're gonna be different.
Well,
I went for last week. I went for a thrilling 5-0 win against Fulham, and we limped out. Obviously,
that was bad.
I wasn't being serious, but
So we've got 4-0 United from Richard Hawkins.
Richard,
We've got Skiliano says 3-1 Sociedad. Don't underestimate the quality of the Sociedad coach.
Man.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Seasoned coach.
I don't see us scoring more than 1.
No, you don't. Don't think your way into it. There's no way we score.
However,
no.
Højlund has 10 goals in 11 games.
No, don't matter.
Brett, he's got a goal contribution every 82 minutes. Since he
In
joined
Europe.
us.
I know, but he
Europe.
also hasn't scored in 18 games.
He's got the biggest
18
Semantics.
games.
Semantics.
Between him, Garnacho, and Xerxe, they have, as a combined 3, they haven't
2 goals.
scored for over 200 days.
Yeah, that's peak.
As a combined, I know it's combined, but 200 days.
Wait, that can't be right. Didn't Xerxe score against Fulham? Fucking Leicester in the FA Cup.
Yeah, but
You liar!
no. But Garnacho's and Højlund's and Xerxe's combined.
Yeah.
Oh right, the days not this,
Yeah.
not like 200 days ago was the last.
No. As a combined total.
Okay, fair
between
enough.
them.
I'm gonna go. I have to go 1-1, don't I? Because I can't say we're gonna lose.
You can go 0-0 if you want. You can go 0-0.
No, I don't think it'll be 0-0.
Yeah,
I don't trust us to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so just one final thing. You mentioned that Old Trafford. You said Old Trafford's not an advantage at the moment. I think it's a completely different context in Europe. I think a European night. I know it's a fucking Europa League on Thursday, but I feel like it is different, and so I feel like playing at Old Trafford in the return leg, let's say we lose 1-0 or it's a 1-1 draw, it's a tight game, right? If we get spanked 4-0, then, shit. But if the result tonight is a close one that can either be easily be defended or easily be overturned, I think Old Trafford will be good for us. That makes sense. I think it would be an advantage.
I really
because it's Europe.
Yeah.
It's not a Premier League game.
And I think there's a lot riding on this game, and I think the fans will know that, and I think hopefully they'll be up for it. I just hope that the bench don't decide the game for us like it did for Fulham. And that's going to be my biggest worry. in a bad way. I want it to be in a
right.
positive
Not
way.
enough to
I
come
get
on.
what you mean.
Hence the reason why I want
fair.
guys like Garnacho come on. We need to be able to look at someone to lift us. So
Yeah, I don't know. I want to agree. I think there's a few scars in. I mean, like the 2-2 against Sevilla when we were 2-0 up and ended up drawing 2-2. They did it to us as well when Jose Mourinho was there. Do you remember the 3-1?
Yeah.
So there's a few scars in terms of return legs at home.
yeah.
Obviously, it's a big advantage.
Barca.
You know what? I actually think we'll get through because
That is not what you said 2 weeks ago.
No, I know. Because you know what it is? I've been looking at Real Sociedad's performances, their form, and how they've been doing. And
They're up and down like us.
they are up and down. I think they have a few attacking threats. Kubo is a good attacking outlet for them. They've got a few talents, but I think we might just have enough to squeeze through. But it won't be anything emphatic or
It never is.
It won't be convincing, but we might just squeeze through.
But so we all think 1-1.
1-1, yeah. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Well, there we have it. Hopefully, I mean, we'll know in about 5 hours, 6 hours.
6 hours, yeah.
1-1. But
1-1.
for our first live show, thank you so much, Firms and Nick, both for coming on. If you guys enjoyed, please let us know in the comments. Let us know what you thought about how we've spoken. You know, this is going to be available. Again, obviously it's going to expire soon because the game's happening soon. But it's going to be available as soon as we finish here live. Also, in general, the podcast will be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every single week. Dylan, United Districts, all my stuff is down below, which we'll get you guys in the description below as well. But yeah, if you have enjoyed, please do let us know. And, you know, hopefully we all enjoy this evening and hope you have a great evening and United win. And we'll see you next week at 12:30 or 1 o'clock on a Thursday.